It's nice. Hey everybody, welcome to Marco Dishes Out on Life, Season 2. This is going to be a fun season where I post whenever the fuck I want. And how many episodes will there be in Season 2? However many the fuck I want. This show is where I dish out on the shit Sunday called Life. And, it's fitting because I like to have chocolate sundaes right now. Sometimes they're shit sundaes because an ingredient there won't be as much whipped cream or chocolate syrup, and I'll be like, this is a shitty sundae. You know, I had a really shitty sundae last month. There were these spicy peanuts purchased, not by me. And I put them on the sundae, and because I thought, you put peanuts on sundaes. And it was the worst. It was the absolute worst. It ruined the whole sundae. It just tasted awful. And so, yeah. So the topic for today is going to be the top 10 YouTubers who fell off. I thought that I would do this as like a funny tribute to our channel falling off this summer due to my health problems that I've had, which, if you don't know, anxiety, panic stuff, and I'll save talking about that for the end of the year when I'm hopefully completely better. And not like right now where I'm like, in between and kind of working on it. I'm going to try to make this go faster than usual. Usually in season 1, the episodes were about an hour long. And that was literally because the app that I used, Anchor, the max time that you have was an hour. And so, it was kind of tempting to it was like a nice little sweet, like, oh yeah, an hour, that's a nice podcast time amount. So anyways, there are some daily topics that I wanted to go over because, wow, there's been a lot that's happened and a lot of stuff that would be worth telling, but there's just, let's see, 3 things. There's another thing I'll save for the end of the year. So first off, I've been having an issue with audio in terms of filmmaking. I told you guys previously, I'm going to have to reshoot all the audio for the scenes that I've shot thus far, because back when I was shooting, I would film all the scenes without good audio equipment because I bought the wrong kind of microphone. The microphone I bought was falsely advertised, and it said you could use it with an iPhone, and you couldn't. Total lie. So I would film the scenes, and then I would record audio in the car. So outside in a car, even on like an 100-degree day, it was torture. Totally not worth it too. But it was kind of good in a way because I edited the scenes down a lot, and so that would have been a lot of work to do now, and so I'm kind of glad I got like half the work done. But yeah, there's this YouTuber, and I asked him because he's been making movies, independent movies, with not a lot of money, not a lot of resources. And he recommended a microphone called Takstar. And so I got that. It's a shotgun microphone. It only cost me $31. And it works pretty well. So I can't wait to use that. I can't wait to get started filming, and I can't wait to finish the movie. Speaking of the movie, I was casting recently, because casting now, it takes a million years, guys. Like, it's so ridiculous, it's so time consuming, it's such a pain in the ass. That casting calls website that I posted an actual notice on, that website was just a complete and total waste of time, and I will be doing a video about that website separately, but let's just say that was another waste of time. Because there's not a lot of actors willing to act now. I even had this one lady, and she made up this bullshit excuse where she said that she can't act in anything right now because she's afraid that if she acts, that the SAG-AFTRA union won't let her be in their union in the future. Yeah, bullshit. She's not a part of their union. That rule doesn't apply to her at all. I don't know what the fuck. And see, this is what I mean. Like, it is so difficult. It is probably, seriously, if I just had like 10 people who could be in this film, it would have already been done by now. The problem with making movies nowadays is really, the number one thing I would say is just finding people to do it. That's the number one issue. Because there are so many actors who don't want to work. And there are so many people who want to be actors who don't want to work too. They want to kind of live in their little La La Land fantasy world that they look at all the time on Netflix. But they don't want to actually do the work and make the movies to get to that point where you could be in your, whatever, La La Land fantasy. That's not my fantasy. I don't really have a fantasy like that because I think it's kind of queer. Like, if you want to make movies, you want to make movies. It's not about like a fantasy of a bunch of people staring at you with lights and cameras and a stupid red carpet. Who cares what color the carpet is? I don't care if it's a fucking shit brown carpet. If the carpet is there at an event where I made a movie and it's a premiere, I don't fucking care. I'll walk across it. The fact that it has to be like a red carpet is just like, why can't it be a blood red carpet? Like, why can't I have like a carpet made out of snakeskin or something? Like, who gives a fuck about a stupid red carpet? Seriously, like, you think that the actors in the silent movie days, you think that they cared about the red carpet? I think they just cared about getting work and making movies and making films, like, they didn't care about the color of carpet that they walked on at a premiere. So I had a video call. It was my first ever video call with an actor. And it was a disaster. It was like the worst thing ever. I had horrible anxiety, stress the rest of the day. My hand was shaking doing the call. It was terrible. And I'm not kidding you guys when I say this actress that I talked to, she was more full of herself than actual actors whom I've met. Like, keep in mind, I've met Christopher Lloyd. I've met David Duchovny. I've met Sid Haig. Well, of course, you guys, some of you might not know who that is. But, I met actors. I met real actors. I met Brie Larson in 2019. October. That was nice. They were less full of themselves. In fact, from those people, they weren't full of themselves at all. But this unknown, no name, no talent actor, she came off as like more entitled, more full of herself than those people ever did. And I just feel like a big problem with movies nowadays is that you have these actors, and from the moment that they begin thinking about acting, they think so highly of themselves. They're so full of themselves, they're so entitled, and the entitlement only grows from there. Whereas back then, I feel like you had a lot of normal people who just became actors, and then they became entitled over the years. Or they didn't. A lot of, the best actors, they didn't change at all when they became famous. They were good before they were actors, and they were good after they became actors. Like Sharon. And that's something that Sharon talked about too. And in terms of details, it was so ridiculous. It was so bad. She was blushing the whole time. I don't know if she was just nervous, and so she just made it like really bad, but like, oh. Every time I wanted to talk, she would jump in and be like, yeah, so I'd like some details, like specific details about this, this, and this. And she literally just keep on doing this, like right when I wanted to tell her details. And then there was this one part where I was like, so, I can't afford to pay anyone for this movie. That's the goal for the next one. But I will provide food. And then she cut me off, and so I couldn't even finish the rest of what I was including in the offer. So she was just like, she just completely like shut herself off from anything. And so if I did end up hiring her, which I probably won't, she probably won't even ever do an audition either, because she probably doesn't think that my movie is worthwhile for her level of talent, which is pretty limited if you ask me. And she cut herself off. She cut me off there. And so, like, even if I was going to hire her, she would have gotten, like, the shittiest deal out of everyone, because I would not give her anything else that I would have given to another actor, because she cut me off. She was like, oh, you're finished, because, I've had this conversation before, so, fuck you. And that was like, that was just really awkward. I mean, it was so awkward, it could be on The Office. And it was really weird, too, because so many of these actors, they want to do extra things because, like, I don't know, like, they want a phone call, they want a video call, they want to look at your social media, and it's like they're trying to find excuses to not work. It's like they're trying to find excuses of like, oh, I saw something on this guy's social media page that I didn't like, so I'm not going to be in the movie. I'm not going to audition. Oh no, we talked on the phone and it was really awkward, so I'm not going to do any work. I'm not going to audition. And that's really what it feels like. It feels like it's almost so cartoonish. It feels like a rigged carnival game where you're just trying to find people to act, and there's a bunch of prizes in the background on the back wall. Those are the actors. But there's just no possible way of winning the game, because all the prizes, the people running this game, they don't want you to win. They don't want you to get any of the prizes, so they fuck with your shit. that was that phone call experience. That was terrible. I'm going to have another call tomorrow morning. At least it's not a video call. Yeah. Maybe I just shouldn't do that stuff until I'm not sick anymore, but I don't know how long that'll be, because they said that like anxiety could last for a year or 2 years, 3 years. I don't think that'll be the case with me, because I'm not as like, I don't know, I just feel like it's not going to be that way for me. So then there is another thing that I'd like to talk about, but it's so anger-inducing that I almost want to make it its own video. So I'm going to skip that for now. I'll just say that she's lucky that I'm skipping it, this young girl. She's lucky that I'm skipping that topic, so that I can get on to the main topic. Now, for starters, these aren't necessarily YouTubers who have fallen off totally. They can still have like millions of subscribers, success, fame, money. That doesn't matter to me. What matters is, did they fall off? So, honorable mention, they're not worth talking about. Number 10 is Squid Jib. They've been around since 2013. They do Goosebumps videos where they review the books. Really, really funny stuff. And they have still not finished the original series, and it's 2023. And there was this point, I think it was like 2020 or 2019, where they just stopped making like more than like one video a year, and they just disappeared. And they do reviews still, but it feels like, I wish what they would do, they don't have to like disappear like that. Like, they could come on and make one video and say, look guys, we're all busy doing this. We're still going to be doing the reviews, but they're just going to come out like once a year, and that's that. But no, instead of that, they do this. They play this game where they're disappeared, and it's kind of annoying, because it's like there's like, they haven't. I don't think they've even finished like half the series, or maybe they finished a little bit more than half. In comparison, I've been reviewing them since 2021. I only have like less than 20 of the original series to review. But I still love their channel. I still love their videos. I just feel like they really fell off. Like, their content was so good, and now it's just like they come on once in a while, they do one video, it's good, and it's like, oh, bye-bye, see you next year. So number 9 is Jeepers Media. This is a guy who I've talked about before. He reviewed kids' toys and kids' like products that were really inappropriate or funny or stupid. Like, the one that I really thought was hilarious was, there was this like suckable lollipop where you're supposed to suck on this flesh-toned lolly until there's a hole in the middle that appears, and then candy comes out of the hole. And like, I don't know how much more obviously sexual and inappropriate you can get. And so that was one instance, and he was very funny. He sort of reminded me of the guy from Toy Story 2, the Al from Al's Toy Barn. And at one point, he just disappeared. Like, I don't know what it is with people just disappearing. And then he came back in 2020 for like 2 live streams. And I was like, wow, this is nice. He did this. He came back. He's an artist, apparently. He's been doing that, I guess. But then after that, he just disappears again. And it's like, God, I wish that guy would just come back sometimes and review, like, new toys. And so he fell off, but, like, again, I still love all of his content. He didn't start making bad content, unlike some people later on. And if you're wondering why my voice sounds like this, I finally discovered it's because of the anxiety as well. So, all that stuff for May, that was all anxiety stuff. Number 8 is Hero Super 99. He's one of the people who was like the best friend of another YouTuber named Wet Movie 1. He was really cool, he was really funny and really had this running joke where he was gay, but he really wasn't, but he liked to act gay, and it was really hilarious because it was so cringeworthy at points. But he had his own channel, and it was really nice. It was really, like, refreshing that, we could just see videos with him. But then what happened? If you guys will believe this, he forgot his password. So that's why he fell off. He has not made videos since I don't know when, all because he forgot his password. And now he moved away from Wet Movie 1, so he's in, like, Arizona, and Wet Movie is in California. And so I feel really bad about that one because he had such a good channel. Number 7 is 2 guys who reviewed Hell on Wheels. Now, I don't know who the fuck these guys are, but it was just 2 guys. They were on Skype calls together, Google calls, whatever. And they would review TV shows like Dexter and Hell on Wheels. And they were like the only channel who told it like it was. Like, I remember they fell off at a certain point. They just disappeared. And I said, you guys need to come back for the series finale and just destroy it for like an hour or something, because the whole final season was trash. And they said, hey, look, we actually did that. And they did. They came back and they did like a scathing hour-long review. And it was really hilarious. And they were right about everything. And I think they're like best friends or something. And, I know that they're probably both busy. That's what it seemed like in the video, too. They were talking a lot about, like, they don't have time anymore to do stuff together. But then they just fell off again. And then it was really weird because one of the guys, he started making these shitty videos that I can't even remember what they were about. They might have just been like general acting videos or something, and I don't know what the fuck that was. So I unsubscribed, and I can't find them. I don't know who they are. I could draw a picture. I could draw detailed pictures, though. Fill out a missing persons report. 2 guys who reviewed Hell on Wheels. Number 6 is Overboard Humor. This is a really sad story, actually. I'm gonna buzz through it because I checked out after he fell off. I didn't stick around to watch the falling off get worse and worse, like a bad nightmare. This guy, he did some of the funniest pranks back in the day. He would wear these sunglasses, and he had this huge afro, and he did really, really good videos where he, like, read random comments in public to people. So, like, he'd go up to, like, a guy who's, like, 300 pounds of muscle and say, like, I'd like to do you-know-what with you. Because that was, like, a comment. And then it was so funny. But at one point, he had like a bad relationship breakup, and the girlfriend was she was evil, she was terrible, she really fucked him up, and he's still not over it to this day. And and so that was like in 2013 or something, and he became like a drug addict. He would just do videos begging for money, and he'd do videos like, look, I had this girlfriend and she was terrible, and wham, wham, wham. People were like, we don't care. I mean, we care, but we want to see the fucking pranks. We're not subscribed to your channel so you can talk about your stupid personal life all the time. Because I talk about stuff, but I don't do that all the time. I talk about movies all the time, though. So I unsubscribed, like, as soon as he made the first video. I wasn't putting up with that shit. Now he's homeless, and he made some shitty new channel where he did, like, one of the worst videos I've ever seen. And he's dating, like, an OnlyFans porn actress or something. Like, ugh. God, he fell off. That was a legendary fall off. Number 5 is Chuck from the Bronx. He would say, hey, it's Chuck from the Bronx here. And he would just eat gross foods and throw up on camera. And at one point, he just disappeared. He literally just disappeared. And then he deleted his channel. And he has never come back to say, sorry guys, I quit. And that was shitty. That was really shitty of him to do that. So yeah, like, that guy was really popular too, and everyone talks about that. Like, where did that guy go? Number 4 is J Stu Studios. Now this channel, they still have like millions of subscribers, so they wouldn't give a fuck that I did this video. But, I'm just speaking honestly from my perspective. Around in like 2018, 2019, I started getting more into prank channels, including theirs. And they did videos like eating in the library, and whoopee cushion in the library, and let's see, what else? Pop rocks in the library. That was a favorite one, because I posted this comment about this girl who looked really sad, and it got to be a really popular comment, and it was really funny how many people took it seriously, because she looked really sad. All these people were like, stop it, you're thirsty, you're hitting on her. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm just making a joke comment. So then after a while, they had this second channel where they got more into building forts in like Walmart. So they would build like a toilet paper fort, or they would do vlogs where they just did random stuff, and then they did a little prank at the end. And they fell off. Like, now they just do clickbait crap. They don't do any pranks. They don't do any of the stuff that they did back in the day. It's like doing that stuff on that second channel overtook everything to where now that second channel is their main channel, and it has like 7.7 million subscribers or something crazy like that. And they fell off in terms of, I hate it when channels change and they turn into something that they weren't from the beginning. Because now you got to go back, oldest videos, and you got to look at all the videos to find ones that are good. because all the new videos are all clickbait crap, childish crap, like, I don't know, like really weird stuff. Like there was one, it was like $10 barber versus $100 barber. I could use a barber right now at home because I look like Christian Bale from The Dark Knight Rises. And that's a separate topic, though. But I don't necessarily think that it's bad that they've gotten all this success now. I'm just saying, from my perspective, I feel like they fell off and I don't like their channel anymore. It's as simple as that. I used to think they were one of the best channels. And now I kind of cringed looking at their channel. And what made it even worse was that they did a podcast where they said, reacting to our old cringe videos. And so they kind of have the opposite perspective where they think that their old prank videos are cringe and their new videos are good. And all these people in the comments were like, we don't know what you're talking about. Like, why are you disparaging the content that made you popular? The good content. So number 3 is Derek's Horror Corner. This is a guy from Kentucky who I genuinely think he could have been one of the best YouTubers ever. He was very personable and nice. He did great content, commentaries, live streams, reviews. But then something happened. A priest or a minister at his church died in a horrible accident, and he said, I'm not going to do YouTube anymore. I'm not going to do horror movies. I'm not going to watch horror ever again. And I'm going to do a channel about golf and God. And so he literally quit YouTube for golf and God. And I felt like, that's fine. But can you at least leave your channel up so that we can watch the good content while you sell off all your horror movies? Like, honestly, nobody understood, like, what is the connection between watching horror movies and taking your religion seriously? Like, what is the connection between, oh, I gotta sell off all my horror movies so that I can focus on my relationship with God? Like, that's just stupid. Like, you can have both at the same time. So I thought that was bizarre. And even shittier, he deleted the channel. So all of that content that he worked hard on, it's all gone. And I just, it pisses me off. And then he started this stupid Christian channel called Today Ministries. And he wanted people from the horror channel to come over and support him after he just said fuck you and deleted all of his old content. Like, God, that was bizarre. That was really awful. Like, he would have been one of the best. He fell off. And then his Christian channel's gone too. Number 2 is Screen Junkies. This is a channel that I can't emphasize enough how good they used to be. Making movie fights, TV fights, honest trailers. They had a great group of people. They had a lot of problems, though. I mean, they have problems sometimes. You know, every channel does. But then, in 2017, these women decided to falsely accuse the head of Screen Junkies, Andy Signore. And then Andy was forced out, and he had to leave, and so their channel just completely fell off, turned to shit. They ruined movie fights, they destroyed it, they ran it into the ground. They promised, too, that they had this subscription service called SJ Plus, and they promised to release all that content for free. And they never did. In fact, they deleted all of that content because some of it contained very hypocritical content. So, like, there was this one guy named Spencer, and he was one of the people who, stood with the Whammon, who falsely accused Andy. And he had this video on SJ Plus where he was having sex with a game system. And so it's like, oh, you're criticizing Andy for being inappropriate by saying that a girl is sexy or beautiful, but then you're having sex with game systems on camera for all the audience to see. And, yeah. After that, their channel just declined. And then they got taken over by fandom. And now all they do is honest trailers. And those are all... I don't pay attention to those. And then, like, almost all the people from the main cast left. So, yeah, like that one incident of those women trying to ruin a man's life, that totally ruined Screen Junkies. They still have problems, though. I'm not saying that they couldn't have fallen off if Andy had stayed. Like, even if he stayed, they had some problems. There was a lot of echo chamber, political bias going on, problems like that they needed to address. And and then again, too, like, a lot of the cast, they probably had higher ambitions than Screen Junkies. But then again, like, now a lot of them, all they do is just beg for money. They have the Patreon, they have the YouTube subscriptions. So they're really, they lost something. They lost that grift of Screen Junkies. Number 1 is Cinemassacre. This is a channel that I've never talked about. I don't want to talk about it in this way, but I have to. So, AVGN and Cinemassacre, James Rolfe, he started off as like a very inspiring figure. Just making these homemade feel, creative, low-budget videos, AVGN, Monster Madness, short movies. And he was very inspiring as a filmmaker. And he was one of the channels where I felt like, he's never going to fall off. He's going to stay good forever. But then, over time, I started to notice something very weird. I would still watch AVGM once in a while and be like, oh, this is okay, I guess. But then I noticed there was something new. There was something very odd and very macabre. Is that how you say it? Macabre? 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 And that was the Slobs. There was this group of people who came on, and they were just on, like, every video of his, like, new video, and, they were, like, these slobby guys, and it's like, who the fuck are these people with James? And why are they on here? And, there was some really cringeworthy stuff. I don't need to go into all the stuff that other people have gone into in more detail. But, like, my kids, Mowden, the podcast, fucking No Time, 540. Like, I could just go on and on. To me, the thing that made me realize that I was going to have to unsubscribe was their Monster Squad review. There was this idiot on there, and he was saying that Monster Squad is problematic and it's not a good movie anymore or something because they say the word homo in it or something. I can't remember. it's one of those stupid things where somebody says, like, that old movie is bad because they said a bad thing and it offends me. Wah. So that was that. That was the end of that. And I unsubscribed, but I still watched once in a while. But then they had the little plagiarism incident with Monster Madness. And that was the moment that I realized I would never subscribe again. So, he went from being like a major influence and a major inspiration to my kids, No Time, Balding James, Bimmy. And it's kind of sad. Like, it is such a huge fall off because I always thought back in the day that he would be one of the few that didn't. And I feel like a lot of it just has to do with the fact that he did not end up getting to make movies a lot. He's just stuck with AVGN. It would be like, what if I was just stuck with this channel in 10 years, which I would be more okay with because I would just integrate movie dreams into this channel rather than be like, oh, I don't have time to do that. I don't have time to make movies. My kids, no time. So anyway, that is the first episode of Marco Dishes Out on Life Season 2. I am sorry that I did not get to the one of the biggest topics in the opening, a daily topic. Or I guess weekly or monthly. It will be a big one because it's deserving of a rant. It's not deserving of a sick Marco who is just doing a video and trying to get through it. It is worthy of full-on furious rage, and that will be delivered soon. So please like this video, comment, tell me what channels you think fell off, and then please subscribe if you'd like to see more episodes of this show. Goodbye, everybody. See you soon.